paper.
Have you ever thought of the work and planning which is necessary before each issue of a daily newspaper reaches the streets? Until 1941, all newsprint on which newspapers are printed was imported from overseas. In that year, a newsprint mill started manufacture in southern Tasmania and now makes 30,000 tons of newsprint a year from Australian hardwoods. There are only a few types of gum tree suitable for the purpose, the most important being swamp gum, the botanical name of which is Eucalyptus regnans. These giant trees were saplings about the time Captain Cook was cruising Bass Strait. And here we come to the beginning of a new Australian industry. Rugged Australian axemen start this old fellow on the long journey which ends under your arm. A pair of fallers will chop down and saw into lengths 3 or 4 of these trees in a day, and one big tree will make 10 tons of newsprint. The fallers are experts, artists with an axe. And with the aid of pointers, they can drop a 270-foot tree to a hairline right there. After the front cut is made with the axe to determine the direction of fall, a little exercise on a saw, tougher than keeping wood in the kitchen stove. They jump, and there she goes. Right in the groove. You need a sharp axe to chop swamp gum. The bushmen pick out another big one and start to shoe up. Swinging an axe while standing on a narrow shoe step requires a tightrope walker's balance. The saw filer keeps them razor sharp, and they'd need to be to bite through 7 or 8 feet of Australian hardwood. Here comes another whopper. But they always get back to good old elbow grease. And after the big fellow is sawed into logs, the boys cut a D in one end where they twist in the cat's tail. And here's the cat, 25 tons of snarling power. And it takes plenty of power to drag a 15-ton log through the bush. But the big cats make it look like child's play. Off it goes, churning and grinding through the mud, a half-mile down the mountain to the loading rig. The lads whip them along, summer or winter, snow or mud. Down at the rig, the logs are picked up and swung onto railway trucks. The loader signals, the operator plays a little tune, and the log swings away. The rig groans, but the gear can take it. They don't bring cranes or derricks to the bush. They make them on the spot. The high rigger tops a big one. Spars are bolted together for a boom. Up goes the rigger with blocks and steel guy wires, and there it is, the 25-ton derrick. Gently does it. A little more. Right. Let her down. The loading crew jump aboard. The chief loader releases the big hooks. This stick, which may end up as the newspaper which you read with your morning tea, gets a lot of attention. Measured for girth and length, sorted for timber or newsprint. Type and brand is cut in the end and the dimensions are written on the side. Dick the loader gets a free lift to the top. Every day is Luna Park for Dick. And here come the cats with 2 more big ones. They wallow and snort through hip-deep mud. That takes power. Unshackle the cat's tail. Give her the gun. And whoosh, up she comes. Dick hooks on those outsized ice dogs of his. And the rig picks up a 12 or 14 tonner as if it were a bundle of kindling. Driving cats up and down mountains is very good training for buck jumpers. And when the trucks are loaded, the chains are coupled to hold everything snug and pretty. And then away they go, roller coastering down the mountain to the main line. and another redskin bites the dust. Now there's a fellow with a nice job. This is another little trick they have for getting the big ones to the railhead. Yarding, it's called. The rigger checks the gear before they start. Everything's okay. Our friend with the tough job signals ready at his end. The yarder operator gets his machine rolling. They drag the big logs a half-mile in this outfit, through mud and bush, across gullies which even the cats can't handle. This yarder is the most powerful rig used in logging. Hauling big ones through this stuff puts a terrific strain on all the gear. Sometimes the wire will snap. You'd better not be in the way if that happens. Up she comes, slow but sure. Right up to the spar. High enough, and away it goes. And here comes the spirit of protest for another load. As the crop is cut down for timber and newsprint, care is taken to establish a new forest. Seed trees are left, so that the eucalyptus may regenerate, which it does very freely. There you see new growth in a logged-over area. Always the seed tree is left at picked locations. These trees vary from 5 to 25 years. In another 20 or 30 years, this area can be logged again. And the chopping and the sawing and the loading will continue. And new generations of bushmen will grow up with the big trees, and new forests will forever supply timber and newsprint to Australia. And from the mountains, the log trains chug along beside beautiful trout streams. Across the mirror surface of the lovely Derwent River at hop-growing Bushy Park. Past the Louisa pumping station. And then, arriving at the mill, the train backs into the gantry.